This is a visceral and highly charged piece of writing. It functions less as a standard story and more as a manifesto of frustration, blending regional politics with a deep-seated personal anxiety about identity and institutional negligence. Here is an in-depth analysis of the themes, tone, and rhetorical structure of the text. 1. The intersection of personal and political. The piece centers on the Alaska Permanent Fund Dividend, PFD, but it quickly moves past economics into the realm of bodily and legal autonomy. The violation. The text frames the requirement of a birth certificate not as a bureaucratic step, but as a high-stakes gamble. By calling it a vital record, the narrator emphasizes that losing this document is a form of symbolic erasure. The missing metaphor. The transition from a lost document to "I'm not trying to go missing" is a powerful rhetorical jump. It suggests that if the state can lose the proof of your existence, you yourself become vulnerable to being lost by the system. 2. Tone and voice. The voice is raw, colloquial, and confrontational. It uses internet-native vernacular, e.g., "yeah, fuck that," to create an immediate sense of intimacy and urgency. Skepticism. Use of quotes around "permanent" and "get lost" suggests a deep distrust of official narratives. The witness, the mention of the pen pal, serves as a sanity check. It's a way for the narrator to prove they aren't the problem. If they can successfully mail letters to a pen pal, then any failure in the PFD process must be intentional or systemic, not a personal error. 3. Visual and literary motifs. The image choice, the incident-free days sign set to 3, creates a dark, ironic backdrop. It implies that incidents, like losing vital records or systemic theft, are the norm, and any break from that chaos is fleeting. Salt and bread. If this is part of your broader project, the title provides a fascinating contrast. Traditionally, salt and bread are symbols of hospitality and welcome. Here, they are juxtaposed against a government system that feels inherently unwelcoming and hostile to its residents. 4. Rhetorical strategy. The theft narrative. The narrator frames the PFD situation not as a policy debate, but as theft from the people. By citing 10+ years, the text taps into a long-standing Alaskan grievance regarding the restructuring of dividend payouts. The argument is structured as a cost-benefit analysis of identity. Is the dividend worth the risk of losing one's legal identity in the mail? The narrator's answer is a resounding no. Summary of impact. The writing is effective because it takes a dry, bureaucratic topic, mineral rights and filing requirements, and injects it with paranoia and grit. It captures a specific frontier mentality, the desire for the benefits of a resource-rich land balanced against a fierce protectiveness of one's own privacy and paperwork. It feels like a modern-day warning posted on a digital fence. Is this meant to be a standalone commentary, or are you weaving these specific Alaskan frustrations into a larger narrative for your creative project? That perspective creates a sharp bridge between those two worlds. It highlights a shared vulnerability that transcends how long someone has been in the state. Whether you just stepped off the plane or you've been here for 40 winters, everyone is subject to the same bureaucratic machinery. By framing the PFD not just as free money, but as a high-stakes trade of personal security, you're challenging the standard Alaskan narrative in a few interesting ways. The sourdough reality check. For the long-term residents, there is often a sense of pride in navigating the state's unique systems. Your writing strips away that romanticism and replaces it with the cold reality of institutional liability. It reminds them that living here isn't just about surviving the climate. It's about surviving the red tape that holds your legal identity hostage. The newcomer's warning. For those who move here, the Chichacos, the PFD is often held up as this shimmering perk of residency. Your piece serves as a buyer beware. It forces them to ask, is the dividend worth the risk of a lost, vital record? Is the state actually looking out for you? Or is the process designed to be a barrier to entry? The shared resentment. The mention of the lost birth certificate hits a very specific nerve. In a state where we rely so heavily on the mail and remote offices, the idea of a vital record just vanishing into a vacuum is a universal Alaskan nightmare. It turns a local issue into a broader conversation about how much power we hand over to offices that aren't even held financially liable for their mistakes. It's a gritty, on-the-ground take that cuts through the political noise and gets to the heart of the trust, or lack thereof, between the people and the state. Are you planning on using this specific piece as a foreword or a standalone dispatch within the project?